just did that. That was the special meeting, the tax modification.
Okay.
You have the public hearing first, and then you have your regular meeting last.
I thought we were done as separate meetings, is why. All right, for the minutes for the, December 19th meeting. Is there a motion to accept that?
That's going on the resolution, right?
No, that was a special meeting. Well, this is, this was the minutes.
I think
This is the minutes for the.
you had three. You had a public hearing first, which is, I think it was the first one in your packet.
This is the.
That's,
6:30.
yeah, the broadband grant was your public hearing.
Okay.
And then you had the special meeting on the trend notice, and then, which is this, and then you had your regular meeting minutes.
Okay, so. What do you have on the minutes, or the notes there for the night?
First, I have the public hearing,
Right.
then we have the special meeting for the trim, and then we have the normal
Okay, so
council.
we got motions, and we'll pass on all, motion to vote.
Yeah, so you have three total. You have not gotten approval for your public hearing and your regular minutes.
All right, that's where we're at. Public hearing for, our public meeting for December the 19th, for 7 PM. I'm asking for a motion for the, to accept the minutes.
For which meeting?
That's 7 o'clock meeting, for the regular meeting.
What's the point of consenting here?
Pardon me?
I'm talking myself. I'll make a motion that we pass this.
I'll go with that.
So we got a motion and a second. And all in favor? All three?
And then just your public hearing. The first one.
What?
A motion to approve the minutes of your public hearing.
Oh, the,
The broadband grant, that was the one you haven't done.
this is. All right, so we got the special meeting, we got the meeting, we didn't get the broadband vote on that. We need a motion to accept the minutes of the broadband meeting.
The regular meeting,
No, it was the first meeting that we had.
the one with Fox was here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the public meeting.
that was the public meeting, it wasn't a special meeting.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to that.
Okay,
I'll go with that.
okay. So, all vote, all ayes? Three? Minutes of the call. All right, we got, qualifying results for the election. We've had two people move the pictures, so make sure it's safe everything. We had two seats open for one-year term. And the two one-year term seats, qualifying candidates for the one-year seats were Joseph and Carl. And they were unopposed. So these candidates will be, taking seat tonight as council.
Negative, they will not take a seat until the election.
We're gonna put a placement tonight,
Negative.
because we're too close to the election to do anything different. We've already got qualifying
Get
candidates.
your charter out and read it.
It's totally against the
Tell them
charter.
what the charter says.
I know what the charter says, but I know in the past, when it's been this close to the election, you've not filled the seat.
Never,
And it's.
never. And we ain't filling those seats without an election anyway.
Well.
I make a motion that we go ahead and fill the vacant council seats before we do anything else.
That's what we're fixing to do. We're gonna fill these seats with qualifying candidates through the election process. There was nobody had, protested their qualifications and voted and went into the list. They are the two qualifying seats for the spot. The two seats that are open now, and they're gonna be going into the seat.
Negative. I make a motion that we appoint Mr. Stewart to fill one of the vacant seats.
We're not calling for a motion at this time. We are going to, we're.
You ain't gotta call for a motion. There's a motion on the floor
I'll second.
and a second.
Well, and we will seek the seats with the qualifying candidates through the election process. and
no,
it was
No,
qualified.
no, sir. We will not do that.
Some of us were cheated out of qualifying,
No, you weren't. You signed an affidavit yourself saying you
no.
wanted to withdraw.
but for a reason, and she knows what that reason
Whatever
was.
it was, that
She
was
cheated
your
me out of it
choice.
by lying to me.
No one lied to you.
Yes, she did.
Anyway, that,
Totally against
the
it.
seats will be set tonight. Joseph and Carl, will y'all come up here?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
Don't even do it.
Please come on up here.
Man, if you allow that, you're so wrong.
We're sitting-
Let's, man,
Hold on.
if you allow that, you're wrong.
I gotcha. Hold on.
Please.
So let's have a discussion briefly about how we got here and what the problem is, and then hopefully we can sort this out. So your charter provides that you are to seat 3 in an odd year and 2 in an even
I
year.
don't think it says odd year or even year, it says alternate years.
It does say odd year
Odd
and even year.
year, you're right.
But I'll be glad to point it out to you. But the bottom line is 3 in an odd year, 2 in an even year. Last year you seated 4 because there was a vacancy, because the charter does not speak to what happens in the event of a vacancy as far as an election and getting off that schedule. So last year you seated 4. Then there was disagreement over who would serve the 1-year term. And there was a meeting in July where there was discussion about Mr. Meeks being assigned the 1-year term. He disagreed. The suggestion of your council was to seek an attorney general opinion. And then the following month, there was an attempt to do so. There was at least telephone attempts to seek the opinion of the attorney general. And then after that, there was basically a decision, a discussion by the mayor to appoint Mr. Meeks to that 1-year term. I'm just giving you the factual background of what happened. You can disagree with it, but I'm just giving you the factual background.
I'm listening.
So after that, and I'm not saying that was the rule, but this is what happened. She assigned him to the 1-year term. When this year's qualifying came up, again, it's an even year. There generally would be 2 seats, but instead there were 4. And the premise behind that was there were 2 vacancies. Mr. Meeks, based on the 1-year term that he was assigned, was up for election this year. And then when the mayor resigned, there was an additional vacancy. And I'm sorry, I said 2 vacancies. Your seat was up as well, Mr. Severino. So there were 4 vacancies this year. When it was initially advertised, and again, this is my understanding, I'm not saying it's the gospel, but this is my understanding, there were 3 vacancies. They had not yet received the mayor's resignation. So there were 3 vacancies that were advertised. When the mayor's resignation was received, it changed to 4. In an effort to straighten out the odd year, even year conundrum, it was expressly advertised that 2 of those seats would be for a 1-year term in order to get back on the odd year schedule, and 2 of those seats would be for a 2-year term. That's how those individuals signed up, and that's how they qualified. And so the problem is, and I've discussed this with some of you, the charter is old and badly needs a rewrite.
So is the Bible, you know?
The Bible doesn't govern your local government, but the bottom line is, it needs a rewrite. There's no provision for what happens when you get out of whack. And so there have been multiple attempts to try to bring that back into focus so that, because keep in mind, you talk about following your charter says shall elect in an odd year, shall elect in an even year. 2 and 3, even and odd. And so that's what was attempted to be done, and the method for that was to have those individuals qualify for those specific terms and know what they were facing going into that. So based on that, you've qualified 2 individuals for 1-year terms, unopposed, because there were 2 1-year seats, and then there are several individuals who are qualified to run for the 2-year terms. And so that's kind of how you got here, and now obviously you're trying to rectify that and straighten that out. I think there's a couple options for how you go about that, but again, you talk about, kind of following what you've put out there and the process that you've put out there. The qualifying was done so that those individuals knew what seats they were getting, and to backtrack now, in my opinion, you talk about facing a legal challenge, those individuals qualified for those seats, no one else did, and to put someone else in over those that qualified, I think is problematic.
You can't put these people before the election, did you begin with?
You can, your charter says it shall be appointed by the council at the next meeting.
And we are going to appoint them
I did,
at the next meeting. But not them, they don't go in until after the election.
But yet you were.
But they're
you did that.
unopposed,
No.
They're unopposed.
So what?
Therefore,
so they're not running for
they're not running
election.
for election. They're already appointed the seat. The
Okay,
seats are open,
that
and
is
they're
not-
qualifying people for the seats.
The whole problem started whenever,
It specifically says, the people that get the highest number of votes shall be elected to the seat.
And doesn't say what to do when you're filling vacancies, and I take it back, it does say that. It says that they shall be appointed by the remaining members of the council at the next
Not,
meeting.
not the people that is qualified to run in the election. They don't do nothing until the election. We fill the seats with people that we want
The
to.
rule, the election office rules allow these.
If you persist with this, I'm fixing to leave this meeting, and there ain't gonna be no meeting, because this is wrong.
That's your call.
When I run, I was straight in.
Your
There was
mistake,
nobody
Russell,
running
is
against
you
me,
didn't
and I was
appoint
straight
one of
in.
your cronies for
I
one
was
year
straight
seat,
in.
that's where you made the mistake.
Hold on, let's keep it calm, let's keep it calm down a little bit, okay?
Was done in a punishment.
you know what's wrong?
It's not wrong.
Absolutely.
The election rules allow these two to be set.
She had, the ex-mayor had no authority.
She put him in the seat, she took his seat as a punishment.
Absolutely not.
And so true. You have now qualified and you as the town have gone through the qualifying procedure, and this is what was done, and now you're telling people that qualified unopposed that they're not entitled to their seats.
They were,
That's a problem.
only who,
After
after
election.
election, the town council is the ones that qualifies.
Your clerk is the qualifier.
Russell, Don,
No.
when I was unopposed and I was straight in. Remember? When I
Announce the
run,
vacancy
I
list.
went straight in, so I did not wait till the
Designate seats
election.
available for the election. That's what the charter is.
And that was done.
Brought
That
about
was
it.
done.
I didn't have, I didn't have
Council
no.
didn't do it,
Okay.
the clerk did.
Quiet down here, please.
Are we going to,
You didn't have a voter in.
are we gonna do this like we're supposed to?
That's what they're trying to do.
They're doing it like we're supposed to. This is within the rules and the guidelines of the election commission.
You know,
This
You
is.
should have appointed one of your cronies for the one-year seat, it would have forced the election.
Hey,
You
hey,
have-
hey, please.
Yes,
Oh, I
ma'am.
tried to qualify, I was
Be quiet.
lied to.
If I have to do this again, I'm asking you, if I have to get, ask to cut the audience to quiet down again, those people will be asked to leave. So let's keep this thing in order. That's your call.
no, this is not right.
We are moving forward, this is within the rules of the election
What did
commission.
we do it last week? No, no.
I ain't dealing with that.
There's no way that they could be done, but not how it was done. The mayor can't say,
We're
especially if she was one of the 3 guys. So it's her interest to put it off on somebody else. We need,
That was not the case.
we need an
There was
opinion
not,
from someone
there
with
was
authority.
3 people in there, there was, listen, you have to take a breath for this, so we can deal with this, okay? You're just carrying on, and repeating yourself, you're going on and on.
I can repeat myself because this is hard.
There was 3 people, there was 3 people.
Why are you leaving, Russell? You go playing?
Somebody.
But that's part of the,
You lied to me.
yes, you did.
I didn't have your motion.
Yes. No, I don't know, there were more than one qualified, but they were labeled that way. Correct, they were designated, 2 seats for 1 year, 2 terms, 2 seats for year. I would say no, because qualified, but then
You're unqualified. Have a seat or leave the room. Have a seat or leave the room.
Because this was not
Have a
established.
seat or leave the room.
Pardon?
Have a seat or leave the room.
No.
All right.
Get the sergeant of arms over here. This is so
You
long.
said you were leaving, or you're leaving or you're staying. If you're staying, have a
Everybody here
seat.
knows it. They just have their own.
If you're staying, have a seat,
You
please,
guys have been on for,
please. If you're staying, have a seat.
Okay, so next on the agenda.
I have to tell you at this point, you do not have a floor. Any action you take beyond now is subject to challenge based on.
Everybody for coming tonight, due to the fact that
They are not yet
we will be,
new council, have new council members to transact business.
So, the meeting is adjourned.
Can I ask you a question? Who's your code inspector?
Pardon me?
Who's your code inspector?
Code inspector. We're working on getting one.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why
Is
is,
that your public comment? Okay.
why is, why are you getting permit on the code inspector?
The meeting is adjourned.
You can ask them.
You can't talk about
Are
it.
you saying cold inspector?
When I went in,
Like COLD?
I was.
Code. Oh, code.
Right in that night. And the next day, I was in.
Yeah, the town of Otter Creek doesn't have code enforcement, that's what you're looking for, code enforcement. You don't have one, they never have one. That's
See,
a
that's
trend.
what I think, and all of that, you're right, I think, and then,
Can't act without a fellow council members.
John made, if he's not, open my.
We are closed.
But sheriff's station.
I thought it was, now it's over. Like,
Coming in.
Congratulations, guys. I bet when they come to a meeting, they'll have already read their minutes.
Quiet it down. Get out there.
What else don't you guys, how do you get bill money?
You're not part of this. Good to see you.
I gotta get my bossy sister calmed down.
Good luck.
Good luck in wherever you let off.
It's a battle of the cameras here.
I cut some wood in 1992. Built my kitchen.
Congrats on your journey.
Thank you. I filled out a comment sheet, but I didn't get that far.
Feels good out there.
Good. After being in here, it kind of feels awful.
It got a little warm in there. Feels good out here.
Hopefully you're coming back around to the good side there, boss.
Sir?
Hopefully you'll come around to the good side.
Ooh, what we got going on here?
They were calling you falling out of board, but I mean, it shouldn't even be a question. They shouldn't even have to look at paperwork. They always know.
I know. Like,
They've
come
been through
on.
this several times. Look at the paperwork repeatedly.
So how you enjoying your adventure?
Good. Good. Less stress.
I know it has to be. Sorry, I ain't trying to get near. Oh, coming behind you.
Got the police.
Hey, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
Nobody. Nobody.
George was waiting for the police. She didn't get to go to the meeting.
Did they even do anything about
No,
anything? That's
no.
ridiculous.
Right.
They
I know.
they
I
all
told
know
her.
exactly what
I
the
said, "You're not
CPO
taking
is.
her to jail?"
That's ridiculous.
They're over there saying it's up to the state to do something about it. No, it's not.
No,
The
it's
state
not.
has already said enforce it.
Exactly.
They need to do their jobs.
Oh, I'm not kidding you. What? Already did.
So you're getting her driver's license for
Lady 34.
So I don't know what allegations they're having, if she's an employee or whatever she is, but, you know, in their injunction paperwork, that's, I'm just, see why it's documenting everything. Okay, I already have their information, I already have y'all's information, obviously, from past, thank you.
He was going to stay
My
until
button's broken.
units are on scene and the right.
So she doesn't get arrested because you missed the
Because
meeting
she lied
wasn't
again.
in?
Yeah, because John was blocking my way from getting in there.
So they called they called the sheriff's office, and I saw the video at 4:45, and nobody was here.
Okay.
Okay, and like I said, I was reading their injunction paperwork, and as we talked before with our state system or federal system, and we look up for injunctions, I can see the injunctions. It doesn't list anything about they must go at this time when you show up. I did show my other deputy that showed up. He had I guess you guys gave him the copy, the physical copy, and I looked it up in there. And after I read the paperwork, that's when I told them, I said, you guys have to leave. They said they're leaving anyways. So obviously there's a breakdown in communication. Again, this is the state attorney's office needs to clarify with us, because I can only do so much. I know this is sort of going in circles because we've had this discussion before. I've had this discussion with them before.
Did you guys just get here?
I'm sorry?
Did you guys just get here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I know they're familiar with me. I've talked with them
No,
before.
and I know you too.
You're blinding me.
I've met you too.
Yes, ma'am. So.
We like you.
Thomas, would you mind turning that off? We can't see from this side. It's so you're blinding other people from view. Huh? I'm looking at the whole thing from this side. You turned it on when you got over to that side facing us, dude. You can have your light on, but you can move a little bit too. It's still facing this way. I mean, you're still in my view. You shining a bright light directly at people's faces. That's totally separate rule from recording something.
Okay, stop. Can you both do me a favor?
What you need?
Okay, we're all adults, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, I understand
would
you're pissed
hope
off
so.
about the light. I understand you have a right to film wherever you want to, right? If you could do me a favor personally, if you could maybe move, I'll even move to help you out. But I'd rather. Okay, that is a bright light. I'll leave it at that. But hey, good for you having good equipment. Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me? Yes, ma'am. Like I said, like we talked about before. She's over there and she's, I talked with the state attorney's office yesterday and they said I could be here. And then you're saying you talked with the state attorney's office and they said they couldn't be here.
Correct.
So they haven't.
My permanent protection order trumps hers. I'm not on her temporary injunction.
And that's the problem, I think, with the
injunction that she has. She doesn't have one on me.
And I know I did see that. It was just on Jeremy. No, and I obviously there's the disconnect. But per my Chief Beecham, going down is to make sure first to verify with her if she has any kind of reason to be here. You know, yes, it is a public meeting place, but however, you're right, you do have an injunction. It needs to be, again, I don't know, I know you guys have sent many things to Ohio to send back, or you know how I said it on my system, what I can see, it still doesn't show the specifics of it.
She said her attorney told her to be here.
The detective that I spoke to said that it's in the communication center.
Detective Bowers?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I told him every time we make a complaint against them violating the civil protection order, no one can seem to find it.
Okay.
He said I was able to find it just fine in the communication center, whatever that verbiage means.
What they need to do is really scan it up to put it to our email. because obviously there's a disconnect between us and dispatch as well, because they have other calls going on. We're short in dispatch right now. On my shift, we had 3 quit, I think, so we're running like 2 or 3 right now. So for the entire county, that's including EMS and fire. We good? Okay. Do you need anything else from me?
So,
as
no,
far
I
as
was
that?
gonna ask you, do you need anything from me?
No, I'm good.
Okay, do you have
like
a case number?
Yes, ma'am. Rick's, yes, please.
So once you get the information from the state's attorney
Yes, ma'am.
and they make a decision,
Then they give us the decision.
let's assume they make the decision that they shouldn't have been here.
Then
Let's
they'll
just
put out a warrant. The state attorney's office will do that.
Okay, but then after that, should it happen again, are they gonna do all this again and we have to wait for the state's attorney?
That
Or
is
are
up to
they
the state
gonna?
attorney's office. Like I said,
So
when
you
it
have
com-
to wait every single time?
Yeah.
That's why I said coming here, like we talked before. It's such a
Would it be
problem
different
for
if it
us.
wasn't from Ohio? Would it be different
No,
if
she-
it?
Initially, now I think it's been
Because
domestic.
it clearly tells you.
So now it's been domestic. But the
Everything.
issue before, when y'all first brought the injunction, it was we have never dealt with, basically, because there are like
Somebody said, I'm so proud of you, and I'm thinking,
some injunctions like
you
domestic
didn't read
violence and
very
stuff
well,
like
but
that
that's
from
okay.
other states and jurisdictions. They can.
You
be
handled all that very
reciprocated, but
well.
It doesn't have to be domesticated. We still hold it.
I saw Teresa in my head, my phone,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Teresa
A
right
lot of
there
us,
saying.
even, I mean, the deputy, we had no idea. You know, that's just honestly because we're not lawyers. We, try to go up with it, and then we try to talk. And have you remember our conversation talking to the attorney's office? It wasn't
It's
very
gonna be
clear.
what it's
It was
gonna be.
very, we recommend
Everybody
this,
keeps saying,
but
no, I
here's what
keep
you
telling
do.
y'all, I'm not voting on this, I'm not voting in this
Pretty much
election.
what we were looking for. So I'm here
No, I have
trying to
some
do the
very
job the
good
best I can. So
opportunities come my
Absolutely,
way.
you guys are doing a great job.
thank you.
We're just
Very, very good.
upset with
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
I know that you have,
So, I'm just playing my cards and finish the project.
That's really
but
annoying,
can you
Thomas. Could you
make her
please not
leave
shine the light
if
in
she's
this
in
direction
place? But
for
she's
just a
not
little
supposed
while?
to.
It's not mine.
Please,
That's why I asked her. I said, can you
you
leave
can
office?
still hear us
They were leaving anyway, so
and
it's
not
works
shine the
for
light
them.
directly in our eyes.
So,
I guess that would be enough.
you folks need anything else from me?
No.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
you guys are-
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, the bus night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, come You don't want to jump out and back
Notice he didn't turn his light on until he was in front of our.
Oh, they're interesting.
So,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I was video
my
on
buddy's like, really?
And-
That's good.
No, I did
They
the
started on that.
turn off, turn on. And I
Right, there they go.
It says biscuit boy on it. Not exactly. Oh, maybe it's. So if John and, Russell, did they go? Oh, they got it. Oh, yeah, no, and not because there wasn't. Oh, yeah.
I think she'll go to jail.
You're gonna like the
It's
video.
sooner or later, it's just, they're
And
putting these
what's
guys.
that other lady's
I'm
name?
trying to get you to shut up because I know they started on mute.
She
And I
was,
was
she
gonna,
was coming out.
I know, and I said, I know, I'd be in there. Me and John, I had it out one right here in this yard. I called him
I seen her
everything
jump
but.
up and go,
Oh my God.
I know. Seriously. So, did you come all the way from St. Louis?
I come up, I came up, I got a buddy, there's a police station there. So,
Another exciting night in Otter Creek. And there goes Laura Mott and Thomas. I'm surprised she showed up at a meeting. Birds of a feather. I don't think I'm gonna miss this fun, guys. They're walking like they are. I don't know. All right. Good night, y'all. We're signing off.